It was a still, quiet Tuesday morning when the knock came. Unexpected, unsettling. I had no meetings planned, no deliveries on the way, yet there he was, a stranger on my porch, dressed in a razor-sharp suit, clutching a manila folder as though it contained the universe's darkest truths. "Mr. Carter?" he asked. "Yes," I said, wary. "I'm here on behalf of your wife. You've been served." The words hit me like a blow. I stared at the envelope, unable to process. "My wife?" I echoed. He nodded, his voice stripped of emotion. "Your wife, Emily Carter, is suing you for $10 million. The details are inside the summons." For a heartbeat, the world went silent. Then I spoke, and my reply shattered his composure. "My wife died 5 years ago." His hand tightened around the folder until the edges bent. His polished demeanor slipped. I'm sorry, sir. There must be some mistake." "No mistake," I said, my voice low but steady. "Emily died in a car crash 5 years ago this October." The blood drained from his face. He fumbled through the papers, flipping page after page with shaking hands. "I was hired by her attorney. They swore she was alive." I stepped aside and let him in. He looked panicked, though not for the same reasons as me. While he shuffled through his paperwork on the couch, I retrieved a small wooden box from the shelf. Inside were the artifacts of a life cut short: Emily's death certificate, hospital reports, the obituary clipped from the local newspaper. He examined them, eyes wide with disbelief. This can't be real. Someone filed a lawsuit in her name. They provided identification, even a sworn affidavit." And in that instant, a chilling truth sank in. Someone was pretending to be my wife. But who? And why? The answer came sooner than I wished. 2 days later, my phone rang. An unknown number. I answered. "Hello, darling," purred a voice, smooth, mocking, far too familiar. "Surprised to hear me?" It wasn't Emily, but it sounded like her. Every cadence, every inflection, and only one person in the world could mimic her that perfectly. Her sister, Vanessa. Vanessa had always lurked in Emily's shadow, jealous, competitive, always second best. At our wedding, she had raised her glass with a smile that never reached her eyes. Her toast had been more warning than blessing. "If anything ever happens to Emily, I'll gladly step in." I thought it was a tasteless joke. I never imagined she would turn it into a promise. "Vanessa, what heaven is this?" She laughed, cold and amused. "Oh, darling, did you really think Emily left you everything? Half of it should have been mine. I'm just taking back what I'm owed, fraud or not." "She's dead, Vanessa." "Is she?" she whispered, feigning innocence. "Because the law says otherwise. If you know the loopholes, a few forged signatures, a few gullible officials, and suddenly Emily Carter is alive again." My stomach turned. She had become Emily, on paper, in documents, in the eyes of the law, and was trying to strip me of everything through a fabricated divorce. She had bribed her way into legitimacy, but she underestimated me. The next morning, I met with a private investigator I trusted more than anyone. Within a week, he returned with a file thick enough to burn her scheme to ashes. Photos of Vanessa meeting with crooked lawyers, recordings of her voice, bragging casually about suing my dead sister's husband. The truth was uglier than I feared. Vanessa wasn't alone. She had built a ring of corruption, a lawyer who knowingly filed the fraudulent case, a notary who forged Emily's signature, even a judge's assistant paid off to push the case through. She thought grief would make me blind, that bureaucracy would bury her lies. She was wrong. Armed with evidence, I filed a countersuit. Fraud, identity theft, conspiracy. When authorities raided her home, they uncovered a shrine to her deception. Walls covered in charts and fake documents, forged IDs stacked neatly, a grotesque inheritance plan mapped like a detective's caseboard. Her trial was open to the public. Vanessa walked in smiling, but her smirk died when the judge began reading the charges. Her attempt to steal from me, to rewrite Emily's memory for her own greed, became front page news. But what cut deepest wasn't the betrayal against me. It was what she did to Emily's memory. My wife had loved her sister with unshakable loyalty. Emily believed in forgiveness, in family, in second chances. To see Vanessa twist that devotion into a weapon, it would have broken her heart. The verdict fell hard. 8 years in prison, her accomplices fined, disgraced, stripped of their professions. The fraudulent lawsuit wasn't just dismissed, it became a symbol, a cautionary tale about corruption in the system. When it was over, I went to Emily's grave. I hadn't visited in months. Grief and life had blurred into numb routine. Standing before her stone, I whispered, "Guess what, love? Vanessa tried to come back, tried to be you, but she forgot there's only one Emily Carter." The wind stirred the trees, and for a fleeting moment, I imagined I heard her soft laughter on the breeze. Life eventually settled again, though not unchanged. Betrayal reshapes you. It makes you see people differently, even the ones you once trusted most. I began volunteering with the legal aid group, helping those scarred by fraud and stolen identities. It wasn't just healing, it was defiance. Proof that truth, however deeply buried, always claws its way back to the light. Vanessa believed she could erase the past and steal a life that was never hers to claim. But some things can't be forged. Some names, some legacies remain untouchable.